Capital jacket? You want to like this one? Not yet. Awesome. In your best candidates, if you're not best candidates who are being pleasant. No. Because there are those voices in there. Oh, it'll be fine. Okay. No problem.
We're having the kids put their shoes over here.
Well, Merry Christmas Eve, everyone. As far as I'm concerned, this is our first family 5 o'clock Christmas Eve service. I think it used to happen a long time ago, but that was BMT before Martin Travis, so who knows what happened back then. But we're excited you're here. Kids, are you excited? Yeah, okay. Now here's the deal with this service. This is sort of geared towards you. Your parents are just here to kind of help you along and to make sure you're awake when you need to do something. But otherwise, you got to participate, okay? So, can you all say Merry Christmas? Can you all say Merry Christmas a little louder? All right, that's pretty good. In a little bit, Pastor Marty's going to invite you to come forward. But before that, we're going to do a little singing. And in your bulletin, if you open it up, there's a lot of stuff to follow, including some readings. Our readings tonight all come from our Spark House Storybook Bible. If you've gone to Sunday school or Teaching Disciples or JYF, you've seen that Bible before. And we're going to read those as we go. Different people. Pastor Marty has something to say.
Thank you. Kids, if I didn't catch any of you, I encourage you to take your shoes off. Go place them under the window outside the nursery, because come the end of the service, they might be filled with a special treat. So if you haven't already done so, I encourage you to go ahead and do that.
Adults, if you'd like to do so too, Randy Bates, if you'd like to do so, whatever works for you, you can do that as well. I can't promise treats, but stitch perhaps. With that, on socked feet or shoed feet, I invite us all to stand. And in your bulletin is a reading that says everyone. That's you, you are everyone. And if you can read, you can do so. But I'm going to do each line and you repeat after me so everyone can participate, all right? And it rhymes. Get ready. So I'm going to start, you repeat. Love comes to us at Christmas. Love comes to heal our souls. Love brings an invitation that our hearts might be made whole. As we gather at the stable, in the darkness glad and grateful, for the sacred in our midst, for wonder and delight, Christ is born in us this night. We're going to sing number 148. 148. Oh, come all ye faithful. Just the first verse. Please be seated.
Tonight we offer up the lights of hope, peace, joy, and love to illuminate the doors of welcome. And we have the brightest light of all, the light of the newborn Jesus. It shines bright like the star that rose over Bethlehem. May this light also shine in our hearts, in our lives, and in our church. May this light awaken us to possibilities and lead us to greater hospitality.
Let's read together. There is room in this inn, a house for holy. And as they finish lighting, I invite us to sing our Advent Read song. It's to the tune of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, or ABCs if you prefer. Come, let us walk.
Come, let's walk the path of light through the darkness of the night. Sing with hope and joy and peace. Life emerges, love increase. Christ is here who makes us one. Christ is here, the day has come.
So Mary was a young woman. She lived in a town called Nazareth and was engaged to be married to a man named Joseph. One day, a man appeared before her. His clothes were brilliant white. Mary knew this man must be an angel. "Hello, Mary," he said. "God is with you." Mary stepped backward. His deep voice scared her. "Don't be afraid," he said. "God sent me to tell you that you are going to have a son who you will name Jesus. He is going to be very important to many people." "A son? But I'm not married yet," she said. "How is this going to happen?" The angel replied, "The Holy Spirit will come to you. Your son will be the Son of God." "The Son of God? My son?" Mary thought about all these things. It didn't seem possible, but she believed anything was possible for God.
Thank you, Clarence. Can you all say that after me, that line that Mary believed anything is possible for God? That's something that Mary realized in that story. We're going to sing another carol, number 150. It's Hark the Herald Angels Sing. It's not herald like Grandpa Harold, but herald means to proclaim, to shout out loud. And so we're going to sing verse 1 of that hymn. It'll be a special treat.
Sing inside. Can all nations rise? Can the triumph of the skies? Then angelic proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Lord, the herald angels sing, glory to every newborn King.
All right, we're gonna invite Mike Ward up. He's gonna play a whole lot of handbells. I want you to watch the smoke as he moves really quick at this table right here. If you can't see him, if you need to kind of stand up or something, it's kind of fun to watch. He'll do great, right, kids? Yeah. I think he's got some friends up here. Are you gonna say something?
Yes, this song comes from
A song from a long, long, long time ago. And in France, they have what's called a donkey festival. The donkey is very important to them because they are honoring the donkey that brought Mary and the baby Jesus and Joseph to Bethlehem, and then also later on when the donkey took them to Egypt. So what's interesting is in France, they would have a young girl from the village ride a donkey through the village and into the church. And the donkey would just hang out until it was his time. And then the priest, when he would say something special, many times Pastor Travis or Marty will say something and we'll say, hear our prayer. Well, during the donkey festival, the people in the congregation, when it was their time to respond, they would go, ee-aw, ee-aw. They would sound like donkeys. So later on, when we share with the boys and girls the friendly beasts, this is the very original melody that this song came from. So I have some helpers here. So we go ahead. That is very impressive. And I don't know what view y'all get, but from the side, seeing all of those bells going, I don't have that gift or talent, but I'm grateful for those that do have it, that they share it with us. So, this next song that we're gonna hear Kim sing for us is that song that Mike just played on the bells, but I need the kids that are here to come up and help us. And so kids, come on up, and we have these fantastic signs that some of our kids have decorated. Can I see one of them? And so kids, you'll notice that as you grab these, there's a number on the back of them. So with each verse that's sung, there's 11 of them. If you have that number, you're gonna hold it up. And so I'll help you, and Pastor Travis will help you as to what verse we're on at each time. But right now, everybody grab a sign.
If you see one you want, just kind of stick your hand out and I'll hand it to you. Ooh, that's important. Well, that's important too. Oh. Dog? Look at that, it's in the mouth.
Now, some of these animals may
This
seem a
will make
little
one. There you
strange.
go. All right, somebody want to take double? You do too. Who has this one? Who's this one? Here, there's two. Who has this one? Here, can you do two stars? And you two. And who's got it there? There you go. All right.
Now, I think what would be really cool, boys and girls, is can you maybe stand all the way across and look at your parents and your grandparents and the people you love out there? Okay, because they're gonna watch you, okay? So when you hear me say, for example, I am the cow, then if you're holding a cow, you gotta hold that cow up for the whole verse. So you gotta really, really listen. Did you ever think that there would be spiders and mice and dogs in the manger, in the stable? Well, I think there were. All right, here we go. Here we be the one with the manger that doesn't have a baby Jesus in it. Do we see that one? Okay, here we go. Jesus, our brother, kind and good, humbly was born in a stable, and the friendly beasts around him stood. Jesus, our brother, kind and good. The donkey's turn. I said the donkey all shaggy and brown carried his mother uphill and down. I bore his mother to Bethlehem town. I said the donkey shaggy and brown. Cow's turn. Who's the cow? Ready? And I said the cow, all white and red, gave him a manger for his bed, and I offered my hay to pillow his head. I said the cow, all white and red. Now the dove. Who's got the dove? Who's got the dove? Raise it up high. I said the dove from the rafters high, cooed him to sleep so he would not cry. We lulled him to sleep, my mate and I. I said the dove from the rafters high. Now a kitty. Who's got the kitty?
I set the cat with velvet fur, curled at his feet, and for him with her, warming his toes so he must stir. I set the cat with velvet fur, the spider. I set the spider on silken line, wove him a halo to be a sign. He'll be the Savior to thee and mine. I set the spider on silken line, the sheep. I set the sheep with curly horn, gave him my robe for a blanket warm. He wore my coat on Christmas morn. I set the sheep with the curly horn, the dog. I set the dog from a neighboring farm, kept our sweet babe from every harm. At any strange noise, I barked an alarm. I set the dog from neighboring farm. Camels. I set the camels, travelers go, followed the star that was foretold. This gift the greatest, and gold. We set the camels, travelers go. The mice. We set the mice, the poorest of you, offered to him the love most true. This gift the greatest of all that we knew. We set the mice, the poorest of you. Now, everybody lift their signs up. But the most important one is the one that has baby Jesus in the manger. Who is that? Who is that? Would you go over a little closer to Pastor Marty? Because you need to be in the front. You are the most important. Here we go. Thus all the beasts who loved him well, in the bird's table were glad to tell of the gifts they gave Emmanuel, of the gifts they gave Emmanuel. Thank you, boys and girls, for sharing.
And as the kids put their signs on the front pew and they stay up front, I'm going to read our next text. Yes, Carolyn! What are you doing? I was about to read a text.
Oh, I was wondering if I could read it.
Do you want to read the text?
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
just practicing my memorization.
Oh, so you don't need me to hold it up for you?
No, I think I like
Y'all say hi to Carolyn?
kids. Wow.
Say hi, Carolyn Peaches.
Is there something special about today?
What's the something special?
I'm gonna read. All right, here we go. This is called The Journey to Bethlehem. Oh, I love But Joseph, Mary said, what about our baby? He will be born soon. Hee-hee-hoo. Hee-hee-hoo. He's coming. We'll go slowly, Mary. Bethlehem will be crowded. We need to leave now. So Mary and Joseph journeyed to Bethlehem, the city of David. And they were going to be counted along with all the other people. But it was cold when they arrived. Joseph knocked on so many doors. Knock, knock, knock. Can you see that, kids? Knock, knock, knock. Knock, knock, knock. He was looking for a room, but everyone said, what did they say?
No.
No! Finally, an innkeeper answered his door. I have no room, the innkeeper said, but you can stay in the little stable in the back. It will be warm, and the hay is fresh. Thank you, everybody.
Very good, Carolyn. And
I was wondering, could we sing our favorite Christmas carol?
Is it by chance Carol number 144? O Little Town of Bethlehem?
Wow, yes. How did you know? First one.
First one. Okay, I think we're ready. Carolyn, that was beautiful.
Well, big boy, a little bit carol. Because my name's Carolyn. And I'm Carolyn.
Carolyn.
Anyway, so I want to ask you kids something. Have you ever heard of St. Nicholas?
Have you ever heard of St. Nicholas?
Well, my grandpa tried to tell me about St. Nicholas, and, well, I didn't quite get it, so I brought a friend to help explain it.
Okay.
Can I bring friends to church?
Yeah, you can bring all
All
the
right,
friends.
give us a
Carolyn. What friend do you think Carolyn's bringing? Do you think it's Bodie?
What's that, Carolyn?
Come on up, Bodie.
Maui, here's Maui. Where are the sticks? Where are the sticks? Come in here. They're little kids. I think they're kids. They look a little blurry. My prescriptions are cracked back in the glasses. Kids?
You're not Bodie.
No.
Who are you?
Well, I'm not sure. Grandpa, get us, Grandpa. My name's Grandpa. Grandpa Weezer. But you can call me Weezer the Geezer. But please don't. That might hurt my feelings.
No other user.
Yeah, but kids,
That was
well, when I was a wee little lad back in the Alps, my parents told me about the legend of St. Nicholas. How St. Nicholas, on Christmas Eve, would get on a horse, and his head would look like a pumpkin, and he would ride around the countryside.
Grandpa, I don't think that's right. I think that's the Headless Horseman.
Oh, well, that's right. Okay, look at the St. Nicholas. Well,
confusing stories. That's Frosty that wears the special hat. And that's Rudolph that has the red nose.
Oh my goodness. Where?
Would you like some?
St. Nicholas is when that was a lot of years ago.
I do. Would you like me to share the legend of St. Nicholas?
Well, I think so. Keith, what do you think? Well, I guess that is interesting number. Why don't you tell us? All right, I'm gonna sit down while y'all talk.
Okay, Grandpa. Correct me as you need to. So the story of St. Nicholas, the legend of St. Nicholas. So St. Nicholas was a priest back in the day, believe it or not, and he would go around and he would hear of people that needed help. But not just that he would hear of people that needed help. See, when he grew up, his mom and dad, guess what they were? They weren't priests. They were what? They were not poor, but they were what? They were very, very wealthy. They were really, really rich. And so St. Nicholas, when his parents died, guess what they left him? All their money. So he had all of this money. And he was this priest that would hear about all of these different people that needed help. And he started thinking about this time of year, and what did God give us this time of year, people?
Christmas.
He gave us Christmas, which is what? The birth of who?
Baby.
It's the birth of Jesus, right? Why is there two Jesuses? Because we have two nativities up here. What do you need to say?
Tomorrow's Christmas.
Tomorrow's Christmas, so tomorrow's when we celebrate the baby Jesus being born. And so can one of you put this baby Jesus in our little kid nativity? And can one of you put the baby Jesus in our breakable nativity? Oh, no, it's its own little stable. That's the horse truck. There you go. And so, since we celebrate the birth of Jesus, and that was the greatest gift ever given to humankind, then St. Nicholas said, I want to also give to others like God gave to us. And so, do you know what he started doing? Whenever it was Christmas time and we were celebrating Jesus' birth, whoever really needed things around him, he would give it to them. And so if he heard that little kids needed school supplies, do you know what he would leave? He'd leave them school supplies. Do you know that one time he heard of these three sisters that years and years and years ago, whenever you wanted to get married as a woman, could you just go and get married? No, you actually had to pay somebody to marry you. Do you believe that? I know, no, right? They should pay for you, right? I'm just kidding. But the family would have to give them a dowry, what's called a dowry, which is money. And if you didn't have money, do you think you got married? No. And so the single dad didn't have any money to marry off his three daughters, which would mean they would never be able to be married. And so do you know what St. Nick left them that night? Money. And do you know that sometimes when he went to visit different lands, he met some really poor kids. And these poor kids, did they have toys? Did they have candy and goodies? No. And so a lot of times in these different cultures and different countries, these kids would leave their shoes either right outside their house or right inside the door. And do you know what St. Nicholas would do? He would fill their shoes with candy, with toys, with money, whatever it was that they really needed, he would leave for them. And do you know that sometimes he would see that people would leave their doors unlocked? Sometimes he had to throw things in the window. One time he even had to get and put things down the chimney. He would do whatever he could
We don't have a chimney.
to get toys inside the house for people. he would have to find a way, right? And a lot of times, we have a lot of St. Nicholas helpers nowadays, don't we? We do. We have a lot of helpers and people that go off and they do what? They make sure that the season and spirit of giving is very real. And do you know that even tonight, we have one of those helpers with us?
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
What do y'all say?
Wow! This is what
But he's one of St. Nicholas's helpers, right? Making sure that the spirit of giving is very real and still alive in our world today, right? Hey, but here's a quiz. What is it that we're celebrating? And what is Christmas? Jesus' birth. Okay, who can take St. Nicholas over to our big nativity and tell him what's going on right there? Who wants to take him? You want to take him, Roscoe? Go ahead. Show him the nativity and tell him. Let's start with the center. What's the focal point? Baby Jesus. And who's beside baby Jesus? We have the three wise men, the three shepherds, the three magi, whatever you want to call them. Who do we have on either side of them? There is a camel that the wise men came in on. And who are these people? Mary and Joseph, and who are they? Who are they? Jesus' parents. What about this person way up here? The angel. And what about these people by the sheep? The shepherds. And is all of this important? And breakable, you're right. Oh, sometimes our spirits do get broken, don't they? And this tries to help remind us that the spirit of giving is very real. Can you say that? The spirit of giving is very real. And so I'm going to ask our jolly visitor if he'll go up to the lectern and read to us the birth story as we look back and are reflecting back at this nativity. So do you mind, St. Nick, going up to the lectern? Oh yeah, give him some love.
You hear me? All right. Joseph, Mary said, I think it's time for the baby to be born. That night, Mary gave birth to Jesus. She laid him in a manger. The animals kept him warm as they waited for morning. Outside of Bethlehem, shepherds watched their sheep on the hills. Suddenly, an angel appeared. The shepherds looked up at the bright night sky. Don't be afraid, the angel said. I bring forward wonderful news. The child God promised was born tonight. The shepherds listened in amazement. The twinkling stars seemed to echo each of the angel's words. The angel continued, Go to Bethlehem. You will find the child lying in a bed of hay. Suddenly, many angels filled the heavens. They sang together, Glory to God on the highest, and peace to all the people on earth. The shepherds happily hurried into Bethlehem. The angel was right. The shepherds found the baby Jesus asleep on a bed of hay. Great story.
That is a great story.
Hi, baby Santa.
Yes,
I really like that story.
me too. I hope all of you are good boys and girls and get lots of gifts.
Okay, guys, can you all tell Santa thank you?
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
And if you want to,
What?
I'm gonna be nice.
All right.
I'm gonna be nice.
Merry Christmas, boys and girls.
Merry Christmas, Santa.
Merry Christmas.
all right, guys, here, let's say a little prayer and then we'll go back to our seats, okay? Hey, God,
Hey, God.
Thank you for the spirit of giving.
Thank you for the spirit of giving.
Thank you for your son Jesus.
Thank you for your son, Jesus.
And for gifts both given
And for gifts both given
and received
and received
all year round.
all year round.
In Jesus' name,
In Jesus' name,
amen.
amen.
All right, guys, thank you for helping today.
Hey, Pastor Marty,
Yeah, Grandpa.
two of my favorite Christmas carols
Which ones?
are Way in the Manger and the First Noel.
Would you like for us to sing those?
Yes, while the kids are being seated, do you think we can sing it?
I think we can. Church, y'all ready to sing them?
One catch.
Okay.
I'm hard of hearing.
Oh, do you need us to sing real loud?
I need those folks to sing out so I can hear.
Kind of like in the movie Elf.
Yes, I've never seen it. Yes.
All right, they say the best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
Anything like that.
All right,
Let's sing.
let us sing.
Jesus, asleep on the Moo, can you say moo real loud? And what do you think the But Mary smiled. She knew that Jesus was Emmanuel. Say Emmanuel. Emmanuel, which means God is with us. Later, the shepherds returned to their sheep, and they were praising God for everything they had seen and heard. Jesus was born. Amen, amen. Thank you all.
Oh, thanks, Grandpa.
Let's go ahead and sing Joy to the World, verses 1 and 3, carol number 143.
Lord is come, let earth receive let every heart prepare His word, and heaven and nature sing, and earth and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Fills the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations free. The glories of His righteousness, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love, and wonders of His love.
Well, we're about to be in my favorite time of the Christmas Eve service when we'll share communion and light candles. And before that, I want to tell you about our offering today. If you'd like to contribute, kids or parents or grandparents or whoever's here, there's plates up here on the way. We called it a noisy offering, so if you've got some of that change in your pockets or something, if you do have change, those are buckets. We put those buckets there because they make lots of noise. So make sure when you drop it, it makes a little noise, okay? Maybe a lot of noise, but don't knock it over. So when you come forward to receive communion, you can bring your offering and then come to Marty or I up here. We'll serve you communion. Now, we talk a lot this time of year about giving birth. And I want to show of hands from the kids. How many of you have given birth, kids? All right, we got 1, 2. That's what I thought. We had a few. Because there's a lot of little brothers and sisters out here, right? So you kids did all the work and brought your little baby brothers and sisters in here, right? Who's a big brother? Raise your hand if you're a big brother. Adults, you can play too. If you're a big sister, raise your hand. I'm neither. All right. And you remember big brothers, big sisters? Do you remember what it was like when you found out you were about to have a little brother or a little sister? Maybe you were upset. One of my kids, I'm not saying who, but she said when she found out that she was having another little brother, I cannot live with another one of him. And she may have pointed to her other brother. Sometimes it can rock your world, but eventually you get used to the idea, and then what do? You start getting ready, right? Anybody had to move rooms when a little brother or sister arrived? Or they moved into your room? Or you had to stop doing things because mom or dad's attention was with the little one? You had to prepare, you go to the store, you pick out new clothes or some new toys, you rearrange your house, you do all kinds of stuff to get ready. At least Taylor went to a little big sister class. And she learned how to hold the baby, you got to practice that before so you don't drop the baby, right? You learn all those little different things you can do to be a help. And moms, they do all the hard work. But kids, you got an important job too. Because you got to help create a home for that new baby or new brother. Or maybe it was a puppy that you were getting rid of. Or anything new that's coming getting rid of. Getting ready for is what I'm trying to say. I have all these voices in my head for some reason. Yes. But never get rid of your puppies. But you're welcoming into your house. You're creating more space. And I think about that at Christmas. We talk about making room for Jesus. And not all of us, I don't think, can give birth, right? But we all can help make room and get ready for other people to give birth. Or if it's God that's bringing something new into the world, maybe we can't do it all ourselves, but we can do our part to get ready, to prepare, to make room, to buy the things we need to and clear out the things we need to clear out and prepare a place for Christ to be born. It's kind of like setting a table, right? You can't make people eat, but you can prepare a meal and get it all ready and make it look pretty and bake the food and put it on the table and put out the napkins and the forks. And I imagine that's what Jesus did that night, years after he was born. About 30 or so years, he gathered with his friends, and we're told that Jesus makes a meal for them. He prepares a table with all their favorite foods that they celebrated every year. It was like a Christmas meal, but it was a Passover meal for them. And he prepared it, and while they were eating, he took one of the pieces of bread, and he broke it. And we know from reading the Bible that he looked at them as he broke that bread, and he said, "Take and eat. This bread is my body, and even this I give you." And it was Jesus' way of saying, as you prepare for a new world, I give myself to you. You have my strength and myself always with you, no matter what happens.
After they'd eaten the bread, Jesus took the cup from the table, and he lifted it up and he blessed it. And he told them that this cup signified a promise, a covenant between God and all of humanity, that God would always be, even when we didn't see God, even if we didn't feel God's presence there, that God was always there. We would never be alone. And that is something that we celebrate even today. So let us give thanks for these good gifts that we're about to partake. Gracious God, thank you for this table that signifies love and hope and peace and joy, that signifies community, that signifies your covenant promise with humanity, that you will always be there. Remind us each time we take this, each time we sit at a table, even if we sit there all by ourselves, that we're not alone, that we have each other and that we have you. For you sent us Jesus and you sent us community, one of your greatest gifts. Thank you for this reminder. In Jesus' name,
We invite you, as you're able, to come forward to receive communion down the center aisle. You can drop noisily or quietly, whatever you prefer, your offering, and come to Pastor Marty or I right here. And then Mark and Betsy, Mark D and Betsy D, will be right over here with the candles. They're going to hand you a candle, and then we're going to form as big of a circle as we can around the sanctuary on the aisle, and I think we'll probably be good. We don't need to come down the center aisle. But get your candle and just keep moving until you meet up with the other side. And then in a minute, we're going to turn the lights off. We're going to light our candles and sing Silent Night as we close, all right? So come now to the table of Christ. As we prepare to sing, once again, the light of Christ has come. Christ is a gift given for every one of you. This silent night, we hear the darkness of the night. The light of Christ has been lit in our hearts. Its journey began in Bethlehem and has traveled from there to us, where its journey continues. From heart to heart, from home to home, this light will grow. The whole world has become aflame with the glory of Christ. As we prepare to sing, we now share the light of Christ. Hold your candles up. Once again, the light of Christ has come. Christ is a gift for every one of you. Receive this gift with joy, for Christ's love burns in all of our hearts. As you go into this night, may the light of the Christ child light your way forever. May you share God's light of love with the world longing for good news. And may the blessings which broke through the darkness be yours always, as you share the extravagant love of Jesus Christ, born again this night for us and for the whole world, going God's peace for all the earth. And if you believe it, say amen.
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 Kids, don't forget your shoes.
And beautiful people, as always, take good care of yourselves, take good care of each other. We love you.
I'm going to ask Mark and Betsy if they would mind grabbing our buckets and standing in the back, and then as you leave, you can deposit your candle.
What is it? 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 Is it mine? Is it mine? Is it mine? Oh, yeah.
I didn't do it, luckily. Her mom, like, she went to talk to her mom before she wrote here. When it happened, I was probably. Stop filming. You could see it from the backside when I went out.
The seal Durham's here.